So that is why he had to signal to the country last Tuesday that I and the members of the Democratic Labour Party parliamentary group had had enough of the biased rulings of Ishmael Roy. Now Roy is retiring from politics. And of course, you know, he's going to toe the line in the hope that if they win again, he will get some consultancy and a knighthood, because they all scramble both for that, and that he can come out of politics with a clean and pristine record. But he's not going to trample on my rights or the rights of any member of the Democratic Labour Party. Let me make that abundantly clear. So notwithstanding all the grandstanding on the television last Tuesday evening in my absence, the facts of the matter are as follows. The Speaker of the House misled the House. I'm saying he told a blatant lie to the House of Assembly in his ruling, and to the whole of Barbados. And I have never witnessed that kind of thing, and I have been interested in politics. Next year will be 30 years that I joined the Democratic Labour Party. I have never ever witnessed that before. His ruling started with the outrageous statement, totally outrageous, that the debate on the no confidence motion was delayed on that day because of my request to call certain names during the debate. That is a blatant untruth. I wrote to the Speaker with a list of names that I wanted to call as is required by the standing orders. When I was ascending the steps of the House of Assembly, the clerk met me on the steps with a handwritten reply saying that the Speaker had denied my request. I'm still in possession of that handwritten reply. When the House started, I said good morning and took my seat. The Speaker looks at me and says, you know your request didn't comply with the standing orders. And what you need to do is just give me a little note of what you propose to say about those people. Well, you know, I am not an idiot. I told him don't bother, and that was the end of that. I didn't have to call names. I don't have to stoop to the level of Liz Thompson and Rommel Marshall and the Prime Minister. I can debate without calling a single name, and all of y'all will know who I am talking about in this country. And I have done it before. I did it in the no confidence motion. I did not call a single name. Go back and listen to the debate. Even when the Speaker started and said that he is not going to allow this debate to proceed without certain rules being followed, and he said every allegation must be supported by documentary evidence. There's no standing order that says that, but he said so by them by him. And when I was getting near to the end, he said to me, and I know you all heard, do you have evidence of that? And I said, yes, I have plenty of evidence. And I dropped the letters on the table. I didn't call anybody's name. So, when the leader of the House called the public service bill, I did my duty as leader of the opposition. After consultation with the substantive Minister of Labour, he asked me to lead off the debate, and I spoke for 2 hours on the public service bill. And I outlined the concerns of the Democratic Labour Party and the people of Barbados as a whole. Then after lunch, they called the no confidence motion, and I started the debate. No fuss, I didn't complain. The debate began, and as I said, he didn't call any names. But do you know that as soon as the responses started, Clyde Maskell called names, but he never gave the speaker any list of names. Liz Thompson called names, and she didn't give the Speaker of the House of Assembly any list. She called the names of people who write bounce checks. While she was talking, Rommel Marshall was sliding further and further down in his seat until we could not see the top of his head anymore. Frandel called her a commoner. Have you all ever read the book called The Polished Whore? Did you see the play called The Polished Whore? Well, she reminds me of a polished whore. That is all she reminded me of in that particular exercise. Cutting, digging, slicing, attacking people's mothers. That's the level to which the debate sunk. And the speaker never stopped her. He never felt it was wrong for somebody to talk about somebody's mother. Can you imagine the level to which debate in the House of Assembly has sunk in Barbados in the year 2007? And that's why I'm saying to you, it's a question of the soul of our nation that is at stake in this particular exercise. And therefore, when the people of Barbados have to go to the polls whenever elections are called, and it will be shortly, I want you to reflect on the direction that this country is taking. And you know, I heard Chris Singler tonight talking about Billy Miller's speech. I remember speaking in that debate, and I'm very sorry that I did remind her that the Family Law Act acknowledges the rights of a person who lives with somebody for 5 years continuously or more. And she had a man living with her who would conform to that definition of the Family Law Act, that was building polyclinics. And she was Minister of Health. So you understand the level of hypocrisy. But all of that is past us, because I believe that there's a way forward for Barbados. And that is why, as a companion piece, a resolution was brought by the Democratic Labour Party to introduce integrity legislation in this country and to require ministers of government to declare their assets, for a code of conduct for ministers, so that people like Clyde Maskell would never be confused again about what their role and responsibility is as a minister of the Crown in this country.